All right, go ahead, people. Dr. Nicole McCarty here. Y'all, I'm back. Thank you. Hey, Dr. Nicole McCarty here, and I am back. We are in a different location now. We have now made our way to Cape Town. Yes, the beautiful, majestic Cape Town. It's so pretty, y'all. It's so pretty, and we haven't even seen everything yet. You know what I mean? But it's one of those, like, only God could create something this magnificent. It's breathtaking. So, yeah. So here we are. And I don't know, today I wanted to talk about being like a Black American, like the Black American perspective in South Africa. And now keep in mind, this is only my opinion. Give my disclaimer. These are the opinions of me, okay? So of course we're all different. We all have different experiences, but I think most of what I feel is probably echoed. It comes from, these are conversations that we've had with those who are expats, who are living here, who've been living here for, any number of years. And so, yeah, especially like right now, because right now, things are a little interesting. I don't have to elaborate, you already know. But if you are Black in America, you grow up with a certain story, right, in your bones. It's a story about identity. It's about struggle. It's about survival. Real talk. So what happens when you land in a country where almost everyone is Black, where almost everyone looks like you, looks like some version of you? And so we came to South Africa, excited, curious. By now you all know, right? And along with all the other things that I've shared with you that we're experiencing, it's layered. It's very layered. It's beautiful. It's humbling. It's what I expected, and it's not what I expected all at the same time, if that makes sense. So today I'm just going to share just a little bit of my perspective as a Black American family, experiencing South Africa for the first time, falling in love with South Africa for the very first time. And so you all have heard, like, if you've watched any number of my videos, and hopefully you'll go back and watch them, but landing here felt different. I was expressing this to a couple of friends of mine that I've spoken with over the past few weeks since we've been on the continent, and I was just like, as much as I can say it, it's something you've got to feel, you've got to experience it, because the words don't do it justice, And so think about this, like in America, being Black often means being very aware, hyper vigilant, okay? Aware of spaces, aware of tone, aware of how you're perceived. Yeah. Here, though, there was this subtle shift, and not because history disappeared. Like, it absolutely does not disappear, right? And South Africa has its own deep and painful history, but visually, culturally, structurally, like, you walk into a grocery store and most people look like you, right? You drive through the neighborhoods and the estates, and you see these Black professionals, Black security teams, Black families, Black ownership, just all Black everything. And it does something to your nervous system. Healing takes place. And like, I'm a deep person, but I'm not super deep. So I hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, right? But you don't realize like how much energy you spend in awareness until you feel a little bit of release. And that's what we felt being over here. And it feels good, y'all, okay? It feels good, because being hyper vigilant all the time, it's exhausting, which is why we're always exhausted on top of all the other things, right? So yeah, so that's one thing. The other thing is that, and I'm just going to be direct, right? Many Americans, including Black Americans, mind you, have been shown a very narrow image of Africa. Very narrow. Poverty, struggle, safaris, political instability and corruption. And what we've experienced here in certain parts of South Africa, modern infrastructure, luxury estates, private schools, security systems that will rival and put to shame anything in the US, okay? Restaurants that would easily be Michelin contenders, easily. And the contrast alone like forces you to kind of confront your own internal narratives, and ask yourself the question, like, what did I believe before or without realizing it, right? And that question's been humbling, and it's a question that I would hope that a lot of Black Americans would explore. You know, whether you plan to relocate here or not is irrelevant, but to at least explore it at the very least, and certainly to try your very best to find your way here, to visit, to experience it, you know, to realize it in the flesh, right? So, you know, dispelling the myth, confronting the reality, yeah, I think that's something that warrants more of. And then, of course, there are cultural differences because we're not the same, right? We all have the same roots, you know? So, and here's where it gets nuanced, because being Black in South Africa is not the same as being Black in America. Black Americans carry the legacy of slavery, Jim Crow, systemic oppression, but also innovation and resilience and cultural power, right? You know, our stuff is always jacked by everyone, okay? So cultural appropriation is just something that happens all the time with Black culture. Black South Africans carry apartheid, tribal histories, language diversity, colonial structures, land conversations, and their own very layered realities. Powerful, right? There are 11 official languages here in South Africa. 11. Most people speak at least like 3 to 4, at least. Y'all, I want you to let that sink in. English, and then like 3 or 4 other ones. How amazing is that? Whereas most Americans, unless you studied abroad or you've intentionally gone into linguistics, most times we only speak one, and we might dabble in run over a second one, right? And so there are 11 official languages. So you've got Zulu, you've got Xhosa, you've got Afrikaans. I hope I said Xhosa right. If I didn't, y'all don't roast me. Okay, don't roast me, just help me. Sutu. There are other ones I can't remember. But there are more, right? And so identity here isn't just Black, right? It's ethnic, it's tribal, it's linguistic, it's regional. You know, you get the Blacks, you get the colored, you get like it's a whole thing. And so as a Black American, you realize that we are a part of the African diaspora, but we are not the same culturally. And it's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a reality, right? But it's part of what makes this whole thing beautiful, because we can come together with all of our similarities and all of our differences, and we can thrive and grow and help each other to thrive and grow, you know? And so, anyway, like that realization, you know, I thought was pretty cool. You know, of course, and then there's community. I've already talked to y'all about community and how I feel and what it means for me here. But there is a warmth here, a hospitality here, a collective spirit, again, that reminds me of like what we grew up with, you know, experiencing in the Black American communities. And so, you know, the meals are shared, the children move in between homes, you know, gatherings are intergenerational. It's just, it feels familiar, not identical, but familiar, and it's beautiful, you know? And so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Safety, because everyone wants to say, oh, is it safe? Oh, Africa is so dangerous. Oh, it's so dangerous. And Americans like to say, oh, Africans so dangerous. I want to side eye so hard. I'm like, really? Because, okay, anyway, so let me just say this. I'll answer the question, is it safe? South Africa has crime. Yes. But so do U.S. cities. I would say major U.S. cities, but guess what? The small ones have it too. Okay? So, yeah, we all have crime. It's a thing. What's different here is the visibility of security, the gated communities, the armed response signs, like the electric fencing. Yes, so it's visible. But is there more crime? Nah. Does the rhetoric and the narrative that is fed out say there's more crime? Yeah, it does. Is it true? I don't think so. And I have to leave it at that, right? So, it didn't feel any different to me. For some people were like, well, I had to get used to it. I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. I like it. It's structured. In many of the areas we've explored it, we felt safe. Even in areas where they're like, okay, of course you always have your spidey senses on. You don't lose yourself. You use common sense. But, it's okay. It's okay. As long as you operate using the brain that God gave you, then I think you'll be okay. Do things happen? Yes. Do a lot of things happen in America? Yes. So, or as they say, yes. So there's that. One thing though, I feel like there's been like this internal identity shift. I expected it and then I didn't expect it. So being here makes you confront your Americanness. Because even though you're Black, you are an American. Okay, your accent gives you away, your references give you away, your cultural assumptions, yeah, they give you away, but it's this beautiful dichotomy of being different and similar all at the same time. And so you feel connected, but very distinct, part of the diaspora, but not like fully of this soil, because we weren't born here. We weren't born into one of the tribes and grew up in that culture, in that environment, and so that realization is grounding, because you realize like, man, I wish I kind of knew that part of me, right? And not that I would change anything of being a Black American, how I grew up, but there is a desire to be like, man, that's cool to really like know, like, hey, you came from here because your grandma did, your great grandma did, and your great grandma did, and like 100 years back, right? And as Black Americans, we don't have that opportunity, so it challenges like romanticized ideas of going back home, but while also honoring like the real connection to the continent. And I think it prompts some really nice internal conversations and internal identity confrontations, if you will, to where you can ask yourself these questions and kind of sit with how you feel and what you feel, And then one of the things that's very important to my husband and I, and my mom, is watching our children here, and I think I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but it's been one of our most powerful parts. Like they see Black pilots, they see Black executives, they see like Black property developers, they see Black entrepreneurs. I mean, and granted, like we live, in the greater metro area of Atlanta, the suburbs around Atlanta. So they see a lot of Black progressives, right, doing well. But here it's just like all Black everything. I mean, not really. And because there have been some wonderful Afrikaners that we've come in contact with and make connections with, and so but it is majority Black, and I love it. I do. And so representation in leadership spaces, it matters. It's not a slogan, but it's lived like as a visual reality. and it expands, imagination quietly. And so even though they may not realize it now, subconsciously, these images are shaping them and molding them, and that expansion is priceless. And we're thankful. We are. And of course, y'all know me. I'm an integrative health doctor, expert wellness strategist. So wellness is my jam. So of course, I have to go into the wellness component, as I always do. Well, not always, but most times. And as someone who has studied wellness and the nervous system regulation and all the things, I have to say this. Environment matters. Yuri, environment matters. It does. So seeing yourself reflected in power structures, experiencing cultural majority, if you will, instead of like the minority status, not feeling hyper visible, like you stick out like a sore thumb, that does something to the body. It does. It doesn't erase history. It doesn't solve global, racial issues. No. But it does shift like the internal experience, and that's worth explaining. It's at least worth mentioning. Again, I'm not super deep, but I have my moments. I have my moments. So, and let me be clear. Like, this is not utopia. There is no perfection. Like, yes, there are economic disparities. Yes, there are racial tensions. You can tell in some of them comments that are on some of my videos, I'll be like, really? But God bless you anyhow. There are land debates. There are complexities around class and opportunity. It's very layered. But here's what I've learned, though. No country is simple. Like, none. America isn't simple. South Africa isn't simple. Every nation carries glory and grief in different proportions, maybe. And so the question becomes, like, where do you feel called? Like, where do you feel aligned? Where do you feel peace? Where do you feel peace? And so for us, this trip wasn't random. It was prayerful. It was uncomfortable. It required faith. It requires faith. This journey we're on, this walk we're on. And sometimes obedience feels like stepping into darkness and discovering light you didn't know was waiting for you. And not that it's completely illuminated right now, okay? Let's be clear. But we do see light, okay? And we're still processing, we're still observing, we're still listening, we're still praying, we're still in constant communication for that remained alignment. But what I can say is that being a Black American in South Africa has stretched me. It's expanded my understanding of identity, of history, of the diaspora, of possibility. And I'm grateful for that expansion. And so if you're a Black American and, who has ever wondered, like, what it would feel like to visit or live on the continent, I would encourage you, come with curiosity, come with humility, not that American pompousness, okay? Come with fantasy, come without fear, come with an open heart, an open mind, and most importantly, just come open to learning all the things, Because what you might discover is that it isn't just a country. It might be a deeper understanding of yourself waiting. I don't know. It might be, and if this conversation resonates with you, let's talk in the comments. Yeah, I've been struggling. I'm going to try to respond to everybody. I appreciate y'all so much. It's just, I got these little ones, y'all. I don't have a helper yet. So it's hard in these streets. But, but if it resonates with you, let's talk. Like, have you visited Africa? Do you want to? What surprised you? What questions do you have? What fears do you have, or hesitations do you have? And if you're following my journey, please like, follow, subscribe, and share. Know that we're still exploring. And I've got a lot of stuff to share with you all. I'm trying to make these videos, but again, I don't have a helper yet. So, and for my Americans, apparently, like, the helpers are the bee's knees. And they are, like, we're staying in an Airbnb, and they are, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. Like, their spirits are beautiful. They're so pleasant. I mean, these women are just amazing. I just love them, and I don't even know them, but they are so wonderful. And so as we go about Cape Town, I will continue to share my journey. Today we did a vocab cooking lesson at Faiza's Kitchen. It was absolutely phenomenal. We had, I don't want to butcher her name, Fuzu? I'm sorry. I apologize. But I love her to pieces. She's amazing. We met her, her mom. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. The staff. Oh my goodness. They're just, it was perfect. It was perfect. It was amazing. And they had patience. My little 3-year-old, he was cutting up. Oh, he was cutting up. He's in this very attached stage where he's like, I want mommy. I love mommy. Be like, baby, I love you too, but give me a minute. You know? And so she was like, bring him in, let him play with some dough. And that was all she wrote. Like, they had a good time. Like, I'll share pictures and video. The kids had flour everywhere, just super cute. And they love, like, Top Chef, Master Chef Junior. Yeah, Master Chef Junior. So they had a good time. But anyway, I will share that video. But y'all just kind of stay on the journey. Let me know in the comments if there's anything, any questions you have, anything you'd like for me to, I don't know, share or anything. But other than that, I will see y'all next time. So love and blessings. Y'all be safe, and like, follow, share, subscribe. Go tell your friends about me. Okay? And y'all be nice. Be nice. Even if you don't like this video, even if you don't like the fact that Americans love your country, just be nice. And know that, you know, no harm, no foul. I'm not offended. You know, I lead with love. I receive with love. And so, yeah, that's it. So, oh, and what I did not tell y'all, this tea. Listen, in Africa, it's called rooibos. Rooibos or rooibos. Rooibos. Y'all, again, just get me together nicely. Be nice, okay? If I butcher the name, but it is so good. My husband loves this tea. He's raved about it. But the one we drink in the States, it tastes like cough syrup. So when I had this one, I was like, oh, bet this. And so I literally have to have a cup every day, and do that with a knob of ginger in it. Y'all, legit. So anyway, me and my Ruby, we're gonna go ahead and say goodnight. Ooh, ain't God good. And I will see y'all next time. Okay, love and blessings. Toodles.